Welcome to Yin Yoga for Athletes, foundational level. Our focus today is on two poses that I think most of us love to hate. Squat pose and dangling pose. So you'll get a little bit of a hip focus and hamstring focus. You might find it helpful to have a couple blocks, and you might want a blanket or something that you can roll up. Even shoes couldn't be helpful here. So we're going to start in squat. So here, if it's difficult to be in a squat position, if you find it difficult because of the heels not wanting to get to the floor, you might try putting a blanket underneath your heels, and that might help you get into position here. Or you can roll up pretty much anything. You can use a shirt, you can use the end of your yoga mat. Some people use their shoes. Anything that works for you here. You can also try using a block or stacking blocks underneath you so that you can sit on it and work towards, make sure it's stable, work towards finding a little bit more comfort in this pose with a little support. Find whatever position works for you. Hands can come in front of the heart, gently pressing together with elbows pressing into the knees. And you can play around a lot here with the variations of squat. You can play with feet wider, narrower. You can have toes more pointing forward, knees pointing forward, or externally rotating. All of those positions are good to work on. So I like to change it up. It's good to find that range of motion and strength within that range of motion. There are a couple ways you can play with your spine position in the squat pose. You can relax completely here. You can let your low back and belly completely relax. And you can even round the spine and even work your upper arms down a little bit more into the knees. You can even let your head and neck relax. This can be very nice if you're having back pain or if your low back is tight. If you've been standing a lot, it can be very relieving on the back. Or you can work on engaging the belly slightly, lifting through the spine, and finding a more neutral spine here. Either way is fine. We'll take just a few more breaths here. Try to take deep, full breaths. Whenever you feel ready, we'll bring the hands towards the floor, or you can have your hands on blocks. Very slowly press into the feet, start to lift the hips, turn the toes forward, and come into dangling pose. The head and neck can relax. The arms can relax wherever they're comfortable. Maybe you clasp elbows and let your arms hang. You can bend your knees as much as you need to here. And just let your whole body find some relief here. Let the backs of the legs stretch out. Let the torso cascade out of the hips, relieving any tension in the upper body. We'll take just a few more breaths here. When you're ready, try to find a long spine. Bring your hands to the floor or to blocks. Turn the toes out. And we're going to come back into squat. This time, as best as you can, we'll take the back of each hand and place it against the ribs. And then try to bring the elbows on the inside of the thighs. Depending on the sensations you feel here, you might want to take it kind of slow, but you can start to walk the feet in, and you can even give the knees a little squeeze. You might feel a nice stretch along the shoulders. And you don't need to hold this pose for very long. In Yin, we hold poses that are more related to the hips and legs a little bit longer. When we're working on the shoulders, it's a much longer hold because those joints are much smaller. The tendons and ligaments, much smaller than the tendons and ligaments around the hips. So just a small amount of time here is sufficient. When you're ready, gently release. And then you can come back down to a comfortable seated position. Take a few moments to check in with the body again. Notice if anything has changed. Notice all the sensations. Thank you much for practicing with me today.